The Atlanta Braves get a big inning from their offense on Wednesday to earn the series split against the New York Mets in a 9-2 victory. They also get another solid start from Ian Anderson. We'll talk about all the stars from that game and preview the upcoming homestand on this episode of Lockedon Braves. So let's get into it.
You are Locked On Braves, your daily Atlanta Braves podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, and welcome back to Locked On Braves, part of Locked On Sports Atlanta, where we cover your favorite Atlanta sports teams each and every day. I'm your host, Jake Mastroianni. You can follow me on Twitter at shortstopball and check out my bio there to see everywhere I am covering the game of baseball, including the Atlanta Braves in written form over at tomahawktake.com. Also, make sure you follow the podcast on Twitter at LockedOn_Braves and subscribe to the Locked On Braves podcast wherever you get your podcast. And if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe there as well and hit that notification bell so that you get notified every time we post a new episode. And as always, thank you for making Locked On Braves your first listen each and every day. We post episodes daily, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, and we are free and available on all platforms. On today's podcast, we've been talking about that big 9-2 win for the Atlanta Braves on Wednesday. The offense breaking out in a big way, at least for one inning. Talk about Ian Anderson and his outing, and the Braves getting that split and some other key moments from the game. And then we'll preview this upcoming 8-game homestand that the Braves have. But let's start with the 9-2 victory on Wednesday. And look, coming into the series, I said, getting a split against the Mets on the road with the way the Braves are playing and the way the Mets are playing, you'll take that all day long. Now, knowing how the series played out and knowing that you won game one of the series, you had a really good shot to at least split the doubleheader. And knowing you probably should have won this series, it still hurts a little bit, but the Braves did what they at least had to do in getting a series split. They had to get a series split. They could not lose this series, so they don't do that. So try to look at it as a positive going forward. But let's talk about this big 7-run sixth inning that the Atlanta Braves had on Wednesday to really break this game open. What was a really low, no scoring game. There was no scoring, obviously, through the first 5 innings of this game. It looked like just a typical getaway kind of day. The strike zone was expanded quite a bit, and it looked like nobody was going to score. And then you had that 6th inning for the Atlanta Braves. I mean, Tyler McGill, he was cruising through the first 4 innings of this game, extended his hitless inning streak to 9. His last time out, he threw 5 no-hit innings, and he didn't get a hit, didn't give up a hit through the first 4 innings of this game. And it was actually Adam Duvall who broke up the no-hitter as the Braves threatened in the 5th inning, but failed to score. And then came the 6th inning. And I want to go through this blow by blow because it really was just an incredible inning and one that I think is worth diving into a little bit more and spending a segment on it. Matt Olsen actually started the inning with a fly out, but it was downhill from there for McGill. Riley beat out a slow roller that he was originally called out at first on, but replay actually went in the favor of Braves here and overturned that call, putting Riley on first with 1 out. Ozuna got into a 2-0 count and then singled, putting runners at first and second. I don't think Riley could have gone first to third there, but again, this is kind of the station-to-station baseball you're seeing from the Braves that I think kind of hurts them and their chances of really, putting together runs and manufacturing runs. Didn't really matter in this inning in particular, just something to point out there. And then Ozzie poked the ball into right field for a single. Again, not a great read by Austin Riley, so he's held up at third base. And suddenly bases are loaded with 1 out. And I'm thinking, okay, this station-to-station baseball is going to get us killed. We got bases loaded, 1 out. And the way this offense is going, I got to be honest, I was not optimistic about the chances of even scoring 1 run in this inning with the way things have gone lately. But Buck Showalter decides to bring in Adam Ottavino for the 3rd straight day. And he clearly was not on his game for a 3rd straight day in this one. and he just did not have it. Travis d'Arnaud hasn't drawn a walk all year long coming into this game, and he walks to bring in the first run of the game. Fortunately, none of the balls from Ottavino that he threw were particularly close to the zone, which was helpful. So Travis didn't feel the need to swing at any of them, and he actually took his first walk of the year. So that was a huge at bat right there off the bat. And then Adam Duvall, he gets a slider that did not slide at all, hung out over the middle of the plate. He pulls it into the left field corner for a 2 RBI double. I thought the TV broadcast crew did a great job of showing the movement on Ottavino's slider the day before compared to what it was in that Duvall at bat, and just showing that the sharpness was not there on that slider. Again, working for a third day in the row. So a big questionable call from Buck Showalter that I'm sure Mets fans are not happy about right now. You also got a wild pitch from Ottavino that played it another run. And then Dansby. Look, earlier in this game, in that fifth inning, when the Braves had runners on first and second, nobody out, Dansby crushed a ball into right center field that, on a better day and a better baseball, I think could have been gone for a 3-run homer. As it was deep enough to move Travis d'Arnaud from second to third base, putting runners on the corner with one out. So that was a great at bat there by Dansby. Heredia unfortunately struck out in that spot, and the Braves weren't able to bring that run in. But here, moving back to the sixth inning, Dansby with 2 strikes, choked up on the bat with a runner at third and 1 out, and poked the ball into center field to make it 5-0. Something right there that I just love to see. A player knowing his team struggling with runners in scoring position, gets in a 2-strike count, choked up on the bat, and just put the ball in play. Need to see more of that. Showalter finally takes Ottavino out of this game, brings in Trevor Williams, and he walks Guillermo Heredia on 5 pitches. And then Acuna jumped all over a first pitch slider and crushed it to right field for an RBI. Matt Olsen, again, putting the ball in play, picked up an RBI ground out, which made it 7-0 in a 7-run inning for the Atlanta Braves. And actually, the person who started the rally ended it as Riley struck out to end that big 6th inning. So overall in the 6th inning, the Braves had 6 hits, 5 of them singles. Duvall's double, the only extra base hit in the inning. No home runs needed for this 7-run inning. They also had 2 walks as well. And there was only 1 hard hit ball by the Braves in this inning, and that was the ball hit by Acuna at 104.2 miles per hour. Again, third straight game for Acuna now that he's hit a ball 100 miles per hour or harder. Great to see. The Braves deserved this. Look, they've had a lot of bad luck so far in this season with hard hit balls. So, even though nothing was really hit hard in this game, they put the ball in play. They put the barrel on the baseball, and they were rewarded for a big inning. And who knows, maybe with the way the baseball is traveling, or rather not traveling this year, perhaps it's best not to hit the ball hard. Who knows at this point? That certainly seems to be the case. The Mets, I think have one of the lowest hard hit rates in all of baseball, and they seem to be doing okay. So I don't think that's what's going to happen. I would rather my team be hitting the ball hard, and I think eventually that will come around and the Braves will start getting those hits. But just interesting that all the hard hit balls they've had this year, all the bad luck they've had in this inning, they get rewarded on some balls that weren't hit very hard. And again, the Braves getting all this done without the need of a home run, which is also just really big for this offense to be able to, what we talked about yesterday on the postcast. This typically is not an offense that is going to string hits together, string at bats together like this. They did it for 1 inning, and it certainly was great to see. All right, plenty more to talk about from this game. But next, I want to tell you about Blue Nile. Whether she prefers a statement piece or everyday subtle elegance, BlueNile.com has fine jewelry options for every mom. Shop high-quality classic diamond earrings, elegant tennis bracelets, or gemstone pendant necklaces. Looking for fine jewelry but having trouble choosing? Blue Nile has jewelry experts on hand 24/7, available via phone or chat to help you find a memorable gift at every budget. Celebrating that special someone in your life? On BlueNile.com, you can easily navigate thousands of fine jewelry options at every price point. This Mother's Day, give mom something she'll treasure forever with fine jewelry from BlueNile.com. And Locked On Sports listeners get $50 off $500. This podcast exclusive is only good through Mother's Day. Use code LOCKEDON. That's code LOCKEDON. Plus, every order is insured, ships free, and arrives in discreet packaging that won't give away what's inside. Shop stress-free and find your forever peace. Go to BlueNile.com today. Ian Anderson was on the bump Wednesday, and he gave a solid outing. Look, I'm going to be a little hard on him here, but it was a solid outing. Look, he navigated through it. It's kind of just a typical Ian Anderson start. You feel like he's throwing bad, then all of a sudden he's 5 innings in and he's given up, hardly anything. So, I mean, this is just what we're used to seeing from Ian Anderson. But, I mean, you break down this start, go inning by inning, and it doesn't look like the prettiest start in the world for Ian Anderson. Struggled early on, honestly, kind of struggled throughout, but I thought he was better, in the third, fourth, fifth innings. In the first inning, he had 2 on with 1 out. Marte got a hit on it, a good pitch. It was a good pitch by Ian Anderson, just a good swing by Starling Marte. But then he got ahead of Francisco Lindor, 0-2, only to walk him. And that's highly frustrating. He did that a couple of times in this game. Managed to get out of that inning, get out of that jam. Again, in the second inning, he got ahead of J.D. Davis 0-2 with 1 out, but then walked him, throwing 4 straight balls. That's, again, just frustrating. You can't do that as a pitcher. That is just not great. I mean, you can't get ahead 0-2 and then just waste so many pitches and then end up walking them. He has trouble at times putting hitters away. I talked about it coming into this game. He needed to be in the strike zone, or the Mets were going to take their walks, and they did. Fortunately, he's just able to wiggle out of all these jams. He got a double play in the second inning to get out of that one. In the third, he walked Nimmo with 1 out and gave up another hit to Starling Marte, but escaped by getting Lindor and Alonso out, who honestly were not very great in this series. Alonso had the home run, but Braves did a great job against them in this series. In the fourth, he walked the leadoff batter once again for the third time in this game after getting ahead 0-2. But he got lucky as Davis and McNeil both lined out on hard hit balls to help him get out of that inning. Again, hard hit balls are not what you want right now, especially in this series. Seemed like all the Mets' damage came against soft contact, but Ian Anderson gets bailed out there with a couple of lineouts. He fell behind 2-0 against James McCann to start the fifth inning, and then McCann jumped on a fastball for a leadoff single, but he got another big double play to help him throw another scoreless inning. He went back out for the sixth, but it was after a 30-minute, I don't want to say delay. It was just a big inning by the Atlanta Braves in the top of the sixth. So that's a long time to sit down for a starter. Gave up back-to-back 1-out doubles that plated a run before Snitker pulled him again. The leash was short there on Ian Anderson because of the 30-minute top of the sixth. But just no clean innings for him in this game. He got hit pretty hard, too, had an average exit velocity against him, 92.2 miles per hour. I actually thought the curveball was his most effective pitch in this game. The changeup got hit pretty hard, considering it's usually his best pitch. But you get past all of that. Well, they say one more negative, and then I'll give a positive to end for Ian Anderson. He's walked 9 batters in his last 3 starts. That has to improve. And that's really been the last hurdle for Ian Anderson, in my opinion, from becoming a really good starter to a great major league starter, is just commanding the strike zone and limiting the walks. It's something he's still struggling with start to start. So that's 9 walks in his last 3 starts. That's also keeping him from going deeper into ball games. That's why he's usually out, after 5-6 innings. So that's something, again, that's the last hurdle for him. I like Ian Anderson. I thought he had a chance to be, a Cy Young candidate this year, but the walks, the loss of command here and there, not being able to put hitters away, something he's still struggling with right now. But on a good note, on the bright side, that's now 4 straight starts going at least 5 innings and giving up 2 earned or less. So you'll take that out of Ian Anderson. He is, pitching really well, really effectively, and giving the Braves a chance to win every 5th day or every time that he goes out there. So another solid start from him. He picks up the win here in the game 4 of this series. Guillermo Heredia, it was quite the day for him. I mentioned the opportunity he had in the 5th inning with runners on the corners and 1 out and struck out. Just a really bad at bat, but He may have made the catch of the year for the Braves. He robbed Jeff McNeil of a potential home run to begin the second inning. Did a great job of just knowing where the wall was, timing it, climbing the wall. Just a beautiful catch there. And again, it's been a struggle for him at the plate, but he drew a walk in that sixth inning to keep the line moving, get Ronald up to the plate with a chance to do some damage. And then he had a 2-run homer later in the game. So overall, I think it was a good game for Guillermo Heredia. He was only in the starting lineup because Travis Demeritte said that he was tired after playing 18 innings yesterday. Don't really know what to make of that, but I know I was exhausted watching those 18 innings of just frustrating baseball yesterday. So maybe that's some of what Demeritte was feeling. The bottom of the lineup, I already mentioned Heredia getting on twice. Dansby Swanson had two hits and did not strike out for the second straight game. So that's certainly an improvement for him. Adam Duvall had a pair of hits, including that big double in that sixth inning. Combined, the 7, 8, and 9 hitters for the Braves had 5 hits, 2 walks, 5 runs scored, and 5 RBI in this game. So bottom of the lineup, getting it done. A weird day for Austin Riley. He beat out the infield single to start the sixth inning, but struck out in his other 4 at bats. So a little bit of maybe tiredness for Austin Riley too. Maybe he felt like Travis Demeritte today, but he at least did beat out that infield single to start that sixth inning. Matt Olson, I know he didn't have a hit in this game, but the at-bats still look really good for a third straight game for me. He had a sharp ground ball in the first inning, was robbed of a hit on a great play by Lindor, great diving play by Lindor. He also had a walk and drove in a run, so I thought the at-bats were still very good and encouraging for Matt Olson. Even Marcell Ozuna, I thought he looked to have more competitive at-bats in this game. He almost beat out an infield hit as well, which you almost never see. So he looked more engaged. Again, just more competitive at bats today. Hopefully he's starting to get things going. I'm not ready to say this offense is back quite yet. They were 4 for 9 with runners in scoring position, which is great. A lot of that coming in that sixth inning. But they still struck out 15 times in this game. That is way too many times to be striking out. And outside of that one inning, it was still kind of the same frustrating offense we've been seeing lately. However, that's typical for how this offense likes to generate runs and how they function. You give them enough chances over 9 innings, and usually one of those innings, they're going to break things open. And that's how this offense has really got rolling in recent years. They get on base, they get a lot of opportunities with runners in scoring position. You just hope that one of those times they're going to break open. And I've said usually it comes with they get that big home run. They didn't need it in the sixth inning of this game. They had some good at bats, put the ball in play, and were able to have that big inning. But I'm not quite ready to say the offense is back, and they're about to go up against some really good pitchers on this homestand, and we'll talk about that next. Our next partner has a product I use literally every day. I started taking Athletic Greens 1 because I have 2 young kids at home. And as you can tell, my voice through the winter and spring has been a bit raspy. I struggle with staying healthy. Now I've been on it for a while and I love it as it's doing wonders for my immune system. It doesn't taste like it's super healthy. It has kind of a mild tropical taste that I actually look forward to each morning. With 1 delicious scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging, all the things that you're looking to improve. Athletic Greens was created when the founder experienced a ton of gut health issues and ended up on a complicated supplement routine to recover. It cost him $100 a day. So he created Athletic Greens after experiencing how difficult it was to create an optimal nutrition routine on your own. Athletic Greens cost you less than $3 a day, and it's cheaper than getting all the different supplements yourself. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just 1 scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/MLB network. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/MLB network to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. BetOnline.net is your number one source for all your betting stats and sports info. Find all the latest sports developments, league reviews, and news, including this year's NBA playoffs and the start of Major League Baseball season. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sport wagering information, from live betting to playoffs, esports, and more. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends in action. BetOnline, where the game starts. The Braves have an off day on Thursday. In fact, they got several off days coming up here pretty soon, 3 in the next week and a half. So please send in your Twitter questions. We'll do a mailbag episode on Friday and also preview the upcoming series with the Milwaukee Brewers. So send your Twitter questions in at @Lockedon_Braves and at @ShortstopBall. I'll see if I can get Grant on for that mailbag episode as well. Some tough series coming up. You got the Brewers, Red Sox, and Padres, all 8 games on this homestand. Brewers and Padres are both 16-8 coming into Wednesday's game. We've already seen the Padres once and split a 4-game series with them. The Red Sox are just 10-14, but they play in a very difficult division. 9 of those 14 losses have come to the Yankees, Blue Jays, and Rays. So a very difficult schedule for the Red Sox. You know they're better than that 10-14 record they have. This Brewers series, it's going to be Hank Aaron week. So that's certainly really cool if you're able to get out to the ballpark and celebrate Hank Aaron in that Brewers series. And again, I'll preview it more on Friday's podcast. Likely to see Corbin Burnes, the former NL Cy Young winner from last year, Eric Lauer, and Brandon Woodruff. Burnes and Lauer have been great start this year. Both of them have an ERA under 2. Woodruff has been a bit unlucky in his starts, but all 3 strike out a ton of batters. So it'll be a big challenge for this Braves offense, who obviously struggles with the strikeout a good bit. But they're a bottom 10 offense in all of baseball. The Braves pitching staff has been really good. So expect some low-scoring games. Hopefully the Braves offense breaks out as it's getting hot down here in the South. Hopefully the ball will travel a little bit better for them at home. Not sure who pitches on Friday for the Braves. It could be Spencer Strider. So if you got tickets to that Friday game, I think we could potentially see him get the start in that one. And then likely Fried on Saturday, and then either Morton or Kyle Wright on Sunday. So it should be a very entertaining series. Like I said, I'll dive more into that one on Friday's podcast. But please make sure you send in your Twitter questions for that podcast as well, as we'll do a mailbag episode. But that will do it for this episode of Locked On Braves. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at @Lockedon_Braves. You can follow me at @ShortstopBall. Also, make sure you subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your podcast. Subscribe to us on YouTube, and we will talk to you next time.